I'm Heather Poirier. Good morning, Temple family. Can you say pandemic pandemonium? When the pandemic first hit, obviously everybody's lives got turned upside down. Add that to two teenagers trying to do schoolwork. It makes for an very interesting time. Add again to that a husband who had to have surgery in the midst of this, a knee surgery replacement in September of 2020, leading us into the second wave of the pandemic. The results weren't as good as what they thought they were going to get. So coming into the new year, he was still off work. He had used up all of his EI benefits. That meant we had no income other than what I bring in, and mine is I work an hour a day. He went back to work for 2 weeks, got a call to say that they were ready to do the other leg. And they had been hoping to also do what they call a manipulation of the other knee, and they were hoping to do the surgery and that together back in January, but he tested positive for COVID, no symptoms. We all got tested, and myself and the two boys had no symptoms, but it meant he couldn't have the surgery. So he finally got back to work to get a phone call after working maybe 2 weeks to say that they were ready to do the next knee. So he went off again, 14 days quarantine ahead of time, another COVID test, which came out negative this time. He went through the second surgery. They were able to do the manipulation of the right knee as well. So he came home very weak in the legs. He couldn't stand for long periods. Once the right knee, the swelling went down and things got on the mend, he actually progressed very quickly with the left knee. Since then, he's progressed from a walker to a crutch to just using his cane now. Shortly after he went off, we thought we were going to get some COVID relief, and when we looked into things, there was no help. I've been on the walk with the Lord for a long time, so I wouldn't say I didn't have trust, but I was scared. Bills are mounting up. I have two boys and the two of us to feed. Seasons are changing. They need clothes for the new season. How am I going to do all this, Lord? Why are you bringing us to this point? I don't have a lot. We make do, but I could sense him saying to me, are you going to trust if I take that all away? Because we were literally looking at maybe having to get rid of cars just to have money to live. Just as it got to that point, we had a few God things happen. We had somebody show up with some groceries and gift cards, and some of them looked fresh from a garden. It was absolutely just amazing. Following week, I got a phone call from somebody who said that somebody used to drop food off to them, but they had more than they could ever handle, and they didn't want it to go to waste. So I guess they phoned somebody here at the church, and they mentioned that maybe we could use it. So he showed up at my door with a couple of more bags of groceries, and I was just floored at the way that you as a family have looked after us. God just wonderfully provided. Shortly after that, Ray saw the doctor, and he said to her, look, I have no income. And she said, well, I guess that's a good incentive to get better with us, isn't it? And he was doing quite well, so she said, well, yeah, you can go back on light duties, which basically is what Ray does anyways. He's become a supervisor, so he's in the office more than on the floor now. He was able to go back to work, so we were able to catch up on bills, got some debt paid off, and it's just, yeah, wow, what God has done. Just looking after us, even in my insecurities, in wondering, how are you going to do this? Being the rock, realizing that He is there, He does care. The one thing I've learned this year is that, yes, God is our anchor. Ephesians 6, latter part of verse 18 and verse 19. We might have a strong consolation who have fled for refuge to lay hold upon the hope set before us, which hope we have as an anchor for the soul, both sure and steadfast, which entereth into that within the veil. And I couldn't help but think, a couple of weeks ago we sang some hymns. My anchor holds, though the storm rages on. My anchor holds, though the ship is battered. My anchor holds, though the sail is torn. I have fallen on my knees as I face the stormy seas. My anchor holds. My anchor holds. And if that's the one thing I leave you with today, friends, the anchor holds.